Hello, everyone. Jane A here from Your Way Weight Loss. I think that's what we need to call our podcast. Jane A, Your Way Weight Loss. Jane A from Your Way Weight Loss. Your Way Weight Loss with Jane A. Simple. I don't know. We haven't
Simple.
figured that out yet. Or
I
maybe
do
when
like
you listen to this, we have.
I know. I do like your way with J and A just because it rhymes.
I,
But we need
I
your way weight loss in the name. I realize that.
we need the YWWL. It seems like it's easy for them to find. We're still in limbo, but maybe by the time you listen to this, it's decided.
I think we need to just do it.
Yeah, same. I agree. Whenever I look at our podcast name, I'm like, I want to change it. I'm ready. I'm ready for a change for sure. Hey everyone. So today we're talking about the fear of failure. It's going to be a good one. You want to kind of put your thinking cap on and think about, I guess, your perception of weight loss and how your perception has affected your success and your baggage, your experience, all of it, because that creates fear. Your experience can create fear.
Absolutely. That's a good question. Do you think that people who, now it's not often that we come across these members, but every once in a while we do, where they said, I've actually never tried to lose weight before. Do you think they are less afraid of failure than someone who's tried 45 diets?
Very interesting. I do think that they have a different mindset than someone that has tried a bajillion different diets for sure. I think that it depends. Wow, that's a good question because you could have someone that has tried everything and they're at a place where they know that they need something different and they're very much open and willing to trying something like your weight loss because they're like, man, I am so tired of, quote unquote, quick fixes. I always make fun of the quick fixes because I'm like, nothing was fixed. It's certainly not quickly. But they're not attracted to that anymore. So they're very attracted to our message and our way, I guess, of doing things. But then you have the other types of people that have tried a million diets and are still very much like, I'm an expert. So everyone's so different, Leash. We've come across all different types.
All different sides, and we've had all different conversations, and we do have people that say, well, I know exactly what to do, I'm just not doing it. That's very common that we hear people say that to us. And I would say you understand how weight loss works, but you haven't figured out yet how to implement that in your life consistently.
I like that you added the word consistently because often we think that how we feel today, what we do today, our motivation today, our lifestyle today is what's going to be your life forever. And that is one piece that society sometimes forgets that keeps changing. And that's what they can't handle when it comes to keeping the weight off. And I think that's why we're so dedicated to that piece of human beings of telling them you will need to adjust. This will change because we're thinking fast forward to once you've lost the weight, to keep it off. We're so dedicated to that piece of weight loss.
I mean, yes. And you know what? That goes with fear of failure because I think people that come in with a real strong fear, they have done that. They have lost weight and gained it back. So they're afraid that it's going to happen again.
That is a part of their failure. You're so right. But that's experience, right? So that's the experience they had with weight loss. Also the experience that it's almost sometimes I wish I could get kind of like a clean slate for everyone that starts. Like, let's forget the noise. Let's forget the baggage. Let's forget the experience. But at the same time, if your experience is used wisely, it can really be a strong tool for you.
That is amazing. And I actually recently was thinking about how people ask me all the time, but how long did it take? And I always say 2 years. And then you know what? I want to go back and say my life because literally the minute that I started, the popsicle diet in junior high, when I weighed 100 pounds was the very first moment that I started my first diet that I started, that's when it started. And when I actually joined Your Weight Loss, I had all of that in my brain. I had done all that before. So that was part of my baggage.
It is. It's part of the buildup. It's part of the experience of learning that stuff didn't work for me. I think for me though, what I find hard is when I hear people, they say this with their words, la. They're like, I did the shakes way back, la, and that really worked well for me. So I know that that works. And I'm like, you are not being aware of the words you're using. Your words do matter because they really represent how you think. And you should also have the conversation with yourself. Well, what are we trying to accomplish? Is it weight loss or is it weight loss and maintaining it off? See how we value that piece so much.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is I had awareness around my experiences and enough awareness to look back on the time I did Atkins and realize, wow, that didn't work because here I am today. That didn't actually align with my values. That didn't feel sustainable to me, but I had to have a level of awareness around that. And that's last podcast we talked about that. People are lacking awareness. So if you guys are listening to this, I want you to think back to previous times that you've lost weight. Did it work?
Yeah, quote unquote work.
Quote on work. Did it work? You know, I want you to really dig deep and not, and also we glamorize it. We think about how great we felt when we were super restrictive. We think about that one moment that we were actually that weight for literally that one moment in time because
Right.
it was like for an event, you know what I mean? Whether it was
Yeah.
your wedding or whatever. And then bam, all back. And when we think about that experience, we just think about the good stuff.
We think about the picture. We
The
think about,
picture.
yeah, the picture. Like, you know, that you can see transformation pics and the person is like dying inside, like is
No,
not happy, has like really had to do unsustainable things to get to that picture. You don't know how that person got there. So that's why like at Your Weight Loss, we certainly promote the physical transformation. You know, we do spend once or twice a week with, you know, Tuesday transformations and whatever. But the rest of the week is to share with the world how our members are feeling. And
yes.
that is important to us. That is what we value most is our members are losing weight and they're happy. Like that is so important to us because we're like, you know, that 10 pounds they lost, maybe it took them 4 months. They lost that in a way where they've learned so much in those 4 months. And that 10 pounds is most likely not going to come on, you know, they've learned so much. Like that's just so valuable to the journey. And while I was driving this morning, I was thinking about how people not only separate their diet to their lives, and we share this often, please combine the two. Your life is your journey. So do not separate your job, relationships, kids, husband, friends, and then on the other side is your diet plan and your, you know, that other life that kind of sucks, but it's just there and I want it kind of. It should be intertwined. You need to keep living your life with the same husband, with the same kids, with the same colleagues, with whatever, and create your new you, I guess, the new lifestyle that you're chasing. And then I was thinking about, please, hopefully, that whatever you're doing to lose the weight, you are always thinking about, do I like what I'm like? Once the weight is off, if the weight was off tomorrow, would you keep doing what you're doing? And I think that we get so like, I'm doing this for weight loss. I'll figure out maintenance after. And we really highly recommend that that is not the way to that you do this, you know?
I must say for myself, I recently have really accepted that yes, I want to lose a little bit more weight, but it's not a number that I'm going for. And getting rid of that number also with that got rid of me tempting to do anything that is not sustainable. And literally all I'm doing is focusing on my life and how I can make small changes in my life. So as you were saying that, and if you said to me tomorrow, okay, Alicia, like you weigh whatever, you know, you feel happy, you're done. Would you live your same life? 100%. So
Absolutely.
that's important that you guys ask yourself that while you are on this journey. And I truly believe that it is possible to lose weight while feeling that way. I really think there's still people that don't believe us.
And absolutely. I don't think those are the people listening to this. That's the sad part. So the people that are listening to this, you believe us, you want this, you trust in our message. So keep spreading the word of I can lose weight without feeling deprived. I can lose weight while I'm happy, and I can lose weight while eating the foods that are attractive to me. And while I was thinking of shakes, because I did have a conversation with someone not too long ago, Kayleesh, and she just like we were just standing there at the park. And she opened up. She's like, I've gained some weight. It's quite funny when people just like talk to me. They like to talk about their weight, which I like. Obviously, they feel comfortable with me to talk about that because they know that's like my thing. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, I did shakes way back, and really it works. I'm thinking about getting back to the shakes. And, here I am. I run a weight loss program and you're telling me you're going to start shakes. That's how I know they don't know what we do. You know what I mean? And I'm like, and so I always support, I would never tell someone how to do it because it's your way, right? So I said, I want you to think though that there's a reason why you stopped the shakes. And I think that it's because once you had lost, she looked great. I remember how she looked after losing that weight, right? And I said, I think that what happened is you did the shakes for the weight loss, knowing that once you lost the weight, you had no intentions of continuing. First of all, we all know how expensive these things are. And also, you were just doing it for the weight loss piece. And so whatever you choose to do to re-lose this weight that you've gained, make sure that you're ready and willing to continue once you're back to where you want to be. And I said, can you say to yourself, I'd love to drink these shakes for the rest of my life? If the answer is yes, you go for it, girl. Because I mean, that's your way, that's your lifestyle, whatever. And it just got quiet. Like I really got her to think about it. And I'm like, at the end of the day, you really need to make sure that in 3 years, we're not back to today, that you want to keep this weight off.
It's
and
the
I just
awareness.
Enjoying your weight loss.
It's the awareness piece and realizing that. And like, I'm glad that you said that, some people can have a shake for breakfast and they're perfectly satisfied and happy. For me, that would not vibe. I need to like eat something. But I just want to talk about shakes. Why do you think shakes work, in quotations, so well?
Because they're all pre-organized, pre-planned, pre-calculated.
It takes out human error.
Right.
It creates a calorie deficit, and it does it in such a successful way because it reduces the amount of human error. So that's important when we have that conversation as well. Guys, shakes work because they create a calorie deficit. So
yeah, there's no magic in the shake when you blend it though. Magic is not created in the blender. But okay, so this podcast basically is about talking about the fear of failure, and we've pointed out that comes from experience. I do think that the fear, just any fear, comes from the experience of failing in the past.
And what do we see people doing when they're afraid, but they you can tell that they want to lose weight, it's in their brain, they want it, they're in motion. So these are the people who are listening to our podcast and haven't heard your weight loss yet.
You're right. Okay. So how to move past the fear? I think that people want to know. Like they want to know how, Leash. All know how they want us to give them like step one. And Alicia really pointed that out perfectly. That right now you're avoiding taking action because you want to stay in motion. What does that mean? It means Googling. It means reading. It means kind of trying, but like you haven't committed to anything because, and you stay in motion. Why? Because that takes away the failure piece. You can't fail anything if you're just in motion.
It feels safe. It feels comfortable, but you kind of are telling yourself that you are moving towards your goal, but it's a very slow, it's like an Alfie pace.
Alfie's her son, and he is something. He has that slow, life is good YOLO pace.
We say a sloth. His spirit animal is a sloth. It is something. Okay, I was gonna say one other thing about in motion. People are waiting for the perfect time of month, perfect time of day, perfect. They're waiting for Monday, January 1st, 2022.
For me, when I think about at the same time, there is no magic to move past the fear. Just like there's no magic to get you back to where you want it to be. It's every single day doing something to move past the fear of failure. And the fear of failure is very much in your mind.
I was going to say, for me, step one to move past the fear is to define failure and to define your goal. So if we redefine your goal and we don't say, I want to lose 20 pounds, what if we just say, I want to be the person that I know I want to be? What
Okay, I
if we
love
just
that.
say
So
that?
step one, yeah, no, you're right, Leash. So step one is I want you, when you say like, I'm so afraid of failing what?
Exactly.
So everyone needs to do that right now because that is different from one person to another. A person could say, I am afraid of losing the weight and getting it back. I'm afraid of not being able to lose the weight. I am afraid of feeling unhappy. I'm afraid of feeling deprived. What are you so afraid of?
And have that conversation with yourself or someone else. I'm afraid that I'm going to be judged. Have that conversation with yourself.
And go deeper. So I love that last one. I'm afraid to be judged. Judged about what? So you really need to go deep to the root law. What am I so afraid of? And what is stopping me from taking action? There is one specific thing that is stopping you from taking action that keeps you in motion. And you've just not had that conversation with yourself about what that is. Once you have pinpointed that perfect, like, oh my God, that's exactly why. Then you need to go and redefine your goal, like Alicia said, and say, how can I make a goal for myself that I can't feel like I can't have that feelings about those feelings about? I can't feel it.
Exactly. Redefine that goal and take the pressure off of your goal. So take the pressure off of a number that you want to lose. Take the pressure off the timeline that you want to lose it. Take the pressure off of having specific foods that you can't eat. Just take the pressure off because
The
that
noise.
also is a part of the fear factor. Is when there's pressure from a timeline or whatever. Taking that off, taking the pressure off will take the fear off a little bit too.
Oh my God. Yes, absolutely. And please remind yourself that you are the one putting that pressure on yourself. And it's because of past experiences. So you're like, well, that last time I lost 50 pounds in 3 minutes. So those are the expectations now out there. No one is looking at you. Like right now, you know what I mean? Like, let's stop thinking that everyone's like calculating the last time. You're the only one that remembers that. And at the end of the day, we're here and you've gained the 50 pounds back. So you've given them something else to talk about. So let's give them a new journey to talk about. Like, really, like, refresh yourself. Piz refresh.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I think that such a good point. I think we think, oh my God, they noticed that I gained 5 pounds, or oh my gosh, they're noticing this. Like, people are so worried about themselves. They are not looking at you and what you are or are not doing, how much you do or don't weigh, what you are or are not eating. Like, just worry about you.
And the people that just outright say these things or actually are watching you, make sure that I would say, because people would say that to us, Leash, they'd be like, yes they are. Yes, my colleague is like, why are you eating that? Why are you not eating that? Or their husband, oh, you're doing this again, or blah blah blah. Yeah, that's gonna happen. You're gonna get some comments. And then what's so important is that you vocalize your intentions this time. So if someone's like, oh, are you like eating healthy again? Because yes, they remember that you had lost 50 pounds 3 years ago and you've regained it. And maybe you've had conversations in the past about it or whatever. Just be like, vocalize your intentions. Oh, I just like really want to start feeling better. I'm really low in energy. So I've just like started kind of walking and then look how like reasonable that is. Look at the expectation you're putting out there in the world for the people around you.
Beautiful. And I was going to say, practice those answers. So if part of your fear is what your coworker is going to say in the staff room, practice. Say, yeah, I actually am trying to eat more veggies right now because I love the way I feel. Bam, done.
Yes.
Do you know what I
And
mean?
and if people want to be rude, so sometimes that, when someone's intentions aren't good, okay? At the end of the day, all I have to say is the goal is never to make other I think you are winning in life if your comeback is not to make others feel more like shit, but it's to make yourself feel better. So any comment, no, anything that is said to you in a way that is obviously the intentions are to hurt your feelings or to be rude, you just lift yourself up. Okay. So someone says something like, oh, you must be done losing weight because blah, blah, blah. Just be like, oh my God, I feel so good. I feel so great right now. I'm just going to keep going. Thank you so much. Just like, people are so awkward with people complimenting themselves. You know what I mean? Like, what else do you want to tell me? If I say, I feel so good, I look so good, what else are you going to say? Like, it's over. The conversation's over. You have lost and I win. And I'm also telling myself how great I feel. I'm reminding myself because
Yeah.
you're trying to put other thoughts in my head right now.
Yeah, and you're right. People are mean. People are mean. People get jealous, and they say rude things. You know, we have our members say that people say, "Don't lose more weight. Your face is looking old." Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
You know what you answered to that? I think my face is beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Throw self confidence right out there in that room. You just throw the self confidence out there. It's uncomfortable at first, but it feels great. And also, you leave that conversation and like you won. Lo. And often people are like, you've won yourself, like not the conversation. It's not about them. It's about you, right? And also,
and like, why are we commenting? Like, imagine if I said, "Hey, your face is looking really young because of all your fat is filling out your wrinkles." It's the exact same thing to say to someone.
there's there
So rude,
that's another podcast on its own, society and
rude
their
comments.
rude comments. And also, I don't know when this happened, but we've like allowed ourselves to comment on weight when it comes to being too thin. But we would never, ever put any comments out there for anyone that's overweight or obese. Like you would never do that. It would just be really, really rude and not okay. But we've like somehow society has been lost into thinking that it's really okay to comment on someone that's not overweight. It's very interesting to me.
I mean, my rule is don't comment on anyone. Um,
Anyone
and
ever.
if you're pregnant, you only comment if you see the baby coming out of their vagina.
Yeah,
Like that is
never. Yeah, no. You're in the
that's the only
waiting room.
time.
They're like, this baby's really kicking. Okay, great. There's a baby in there. That is the only time you ever comment on someone's body. So if you're listening to this and you're that person that would like, you're probably not, but we're 22 minutes in.
You're
If
not
you're
our
listening to
person.
this, you're not our person, but yeah, you're probably not listening to this. But I do think that we should never comment on someone's body in any way, whether it's too small, too big, whatever your perception of someone else's body is not for you to share at all. Okay, let's end with that.
I mean, that is a good message.
Yeah, it is a really good message to end with. Okay, everyone. So on whatever platform you're listening to this on, please follow us. Find us. Come see us on Instagram. We're there, probably waiting for you,
Hanging
trying
out.
to entertain you. So YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, we're under Your Way Weight Loss, of course. And our website is yourwayoursupport.com, where you can join us anytime. All right. Bye, everyone.
Yeah.